This is a review for Dead Calm from 1989. So this is a movie I've seen multiple times. It's a really good movie. Um, it's short. It's not amazing, but basically it has like three people in it: Nicole Kidman, Billy Zane, and Sam Neill. Um, the director directed The Saint, The Patriot, Clear and Present Danger. So he's a pretty good director. He knows what he's doing. Um, so basically, the movie takes place mostly at sea, but it starts off with Sam Neill going to the hospital. And Sam Neill is in the Navy. I believe he's in the Navy. Um, he's been on the sea for like 25 years, he says. And his wife was driving in her car, and unfortunately, they're in an accident. Their little kid was killed, their boy, and actually a pretty brutal scene. Um, I was like, wow, that's pretty brutal. I mean, it's sad, and but yeah, it's a brutal scene, and the kid's killed, unfortunately, and she's dealing with PTSD from that, and she's very depressed and sad. And then after that happens, it cuts to, you don't really know, maybe like a year later or so, and she and Sam Neill and her are in a boat at sea. You assume maybe to help her deal with her depression, um, to get her, I mean, I guess away from land. They don't really explain it, but Sam Neill's an experienced sailor, so he obviously loves the sea. He's trained her some, she also knows what she's doing too at sea. Um, and so she's having PTSD. She's having nightmares about what happens, and then they run into another ship that's sinking, very slowly sinking, and then all of a sudden a dinghy gets close to their ship, and Billy Zane's in it. And then Billy Zane comes aboard, and that's when the movie really starts. Billy Zane says the rest of his crew died from botulism, from poisoning. Um, he then goes to sleep. Sam Neill says, "Okay, well, why don't you drink some water? Why don't you go to sleep, relax?" Sam Neill's talk to him, says like we should go to your ship, get gear. He doesn't want to. So Sam Neill says to Nicole Kidman, "I think this is odd. His story doesn't make any sense." He's like, "I've been at sea for 25 years. This is very strange." So he gets in the dinghy, and he goes over to the ship because they don't want to wake him and turn on their ship, the engine. He locks him in a room, and when he's on the ship, he discovers that there's all these dead bodies. They're kind of in the water because the ship's slowly sinking. You don't really know how that started, but anyways, so so he kind of like wants to get back to his ship with his wife, and he's getting there in the dinghy, and Billy Zane breaks out of the room, and he attacks Nicole Kidman, and he accelerates the ship away from Sam Neill. And the rest of the movie is basically Nicole Kidman and Billy Zane, and then Sam Neill's off on his own trying to survive. And it's a good movie. There's some good tension. Like I said, that it's well directed. Um, I don't know if you classify it as a horror movie. I'd say a thriller with some, horror elements. I would say. Um, so so yeah, I really enjoy the movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Especially if you're a fan of Sam Neill or Billy Zane or Nicole Kidman. Speaking of Sam Neill, I think he was never given a great opportunity to show his skills as an actor. I mean, he's in Jurassic Park and he's in the new one, I guess, which I haven't seen. Um, but I mean, other than that, I mean, he's got this movie. He was in oh, what's that John Carpenter movie? The Mouth of Madness. Um, I like that movie. That's a pretty good movie with some budget constraints, unfortunately, I think. But that's a really good one. But yeah, I just think he was never given the quite the opportunity of some and I know at one point he was considered for being James Bond. But that's just kind of weird, like, him as James Bond. I don't know. I think he was up for it when Timothy Dalton was, after Roger Moore, but I don't know. I'm not sure that's right. Um, but anyways, I've heard that from the Broccolis, so who produced James Bond. But so yeah, I'll get into spoilers now. Um, so it's Nicole Kidman and Billy Zane in the ship. She tries to convince him to turn around. He won't. And then throughout the movie, she's basically like seducing him, trying to get the upper hand. She finally does. She gets a gun. Oh, she actually she drugs him. She gets a gun. He knocks her down. He gets the gun. He tries to shoot her. He misses because of the being drugged, and then he passes out. Um, well, actually, before he passes out, she then gets a harpoon gun, shoots him. He then passes out. She ties him up. And, the movie's a little predictable because it's like, okay, then what? He's going to escape and attack her again. And that's what happens. So it's kind of predictable. It's kind of like, okay, I see where this is going. He attacks her again. So he ends up shooting him again. And then finally, he's attacking her again. And she, I think, shoots him another time in the arm. And then she's about to kill him, but then she just knocks him out. She throws him on a dinghy with I think some emergency supplies. So she's very nice person. I have to. She's a very nice person. Because obviously Billy Zane's just a psycho. I mean, he's got problems. He's very violent. He's delusional. I mean, he's like trying to romance her, and it's like, what, you're just gonna romance her? Like, you just like basically like, almost killed her husband. But anyways, Billy Zane obviously has many problems, and so Sam Neill is back on the other sinking boat. He ends up getting trapped underneath the boat where all the water's building. He's luckily able to survive for a while. He gets out because there's a hole in the bottom. And then he burns the boat down, hoping that his wife has turned their boat around to get him. She does. She sees him. She rescues him. And it's again with the predictability, because then they end up getting to the dinghy. He's not on it. But the movie just keeps going, and like her and Sam Neill are like, romancing, and you're having breakfast, and it's like, oh, okay, is he gonna come back and attack him? And he does. And then Sam Neill, a brutal scene, good effects too. He's attacking Nicole Kidman, Billy Zane. Sam Neill grabs a flare. It's not like a flare gun. I think it's like a flare device where you just pull it and it shoots a flare out, and then you throw that away. But and he aims it at him. Boom. The flare goes right into Billy Zane's mouth. Looks really well, really good. I don't know if it's CGI. It's 1989, so I don't know, but it looks pretty good. And then he falls over, and obviously he's gone, he's dead. So, but yeah, I like the movie. It's well directed. Like I said, the director is pretty good. I actually like the movie The Saint that he did. I know that movie has a lot of haters. I think got terrible reviews when it came out. It's like based on like an old show, but I don't know. I never seen the show. I always enjoyed that movie. It's like Val Kilmer as like a thief, and he plays a bunch of different roles with makeup. It's kind of like a spy movie almost, but he's a thief. I always liked the movie, but I know a lot of people hate that movie. But yeah, I think this is a good movie. Not a great movie, like I said, a little predictable, but an enjoyable movie. There's only like 3 people in the cast really, and there's like 2 locations pretty much, 2 ships. So interesting movie. All 3 are good actors. I'm especially a huge fan of Sam Neill, so yeah, check it out. It's an enjoyable movie. That's about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and that's it.